Hello there, and welcome to Community Life. Here we talk with the community experts about their life journeys and how they came into the community world. And today we have a conversation with Valentina Ruffoni, founder of the largest online Facebook community of food and drink lovers, Eat Out Madrid, podcaster, ex-flight attendant, and ex-Zumba fitness instructor, and freelancer community consultant and creator. So, hello, Valentina.
Hello. You just reeling off all of those things that I've done in my life just makes me think I've done so many different things.
Totally. And we will talk about them a little later. And let me start with this first question. I noticed that you repost so many amazing resources to your LinkedIn, but there are so many great posts out there in the community world more. So tell me, how do you decide which post to repost on LinkedIn?
That is a very good question. Really, it's what resonates with me. If it's something that either I am empowered to make a change, someone's suggesting a strategy or a way of working, and I'm like, oh my God, I should do that. Or something that I have learned from somebody else that I'm now doing, or something that I just think is really valuable to the people that I know that are following me on LinkedIn. That's kind of how I decide. Actually, people say to me, oh, you're so active on LinkedIn, and like it must be such hard work. And I don't actually create much content myself. It's not I dislike creating content, but there's so many other people out there sharing amazing stuff. So why not share other people's so that I look active, rather than creating my own. So yeah, that's how I decide.
Tell me more about why do you dislike creating a content?
You know what? In my job as community experience leader disciple, most of my job is to create content. Therefore, outside of work, which is the time that I get to check my LinkedIn, the last thing that I want to do is create more content. I do love creating content in general. My specialism is not long form content, so I don't create many kind of like blog posts, even though I do have a few articles on LinkedIn when I'm feeling inspired. But as I said, like there's just so much great content on LinkedIn that if I can just reshare it very quickly in a second, and help somebody else out, and loads of other people that are looking to up level their skill and engagement, then great. I don't have to sit there for 30 minutes or however long to create my own stuff. So some people may call me lazy, but I call myself smart.
Totally.
I'm a smart sharer. That's what I am. I'm a smart sharer.
Totally. I'm 100% agree. And have you ever noticed yourself like when you read some posts and like, oh, I think Lisa would like to read this post, or oh, I have to share this post with Max. Do you share this post with somebody like in DMs?
I must admit, I don't. There are definitely people that come to mind, and I'll maybe tag them in the comments. But I have rarely sent things directly via DM, but maybe I should now that you've mentioned it. I have a lot going on in my DMs. I have a lot of people messaging me. So yeah, it makes sense to message them back. So I will definitely try to do that.
I will return for your feedback in a month. So let's see what happens. And let's start from the beginning. Tell me a little about your parents. Who are they?
Who are my parents? My parents are very lovely people. They are both British, although we do have Italian descent on my dad's side, hence my name. But you know, I don't look Italian at all. But I do love pasta and pizza, so that is my connection. And yeah, they're very loving people, supportive people, for me, especially in my life choices, because I've done so many different things, and I'm sure my parents will agree that whatever they have said I couldn't do, I would do it. And it's not that because they don't believe in me. It's like, Mom, I want to go and do this. No, you can't do this. I'm going to do it anyway. I've done that for a very long time. I guess I don't like people saying no to me. But they've always come around after some time, especially because I often go far. For example, going to be a flight attendant in the United Arab Emirates. I now live in Spain. I also used to work on a cruise ship. I've been here, there, and everywhere. And for parents, that can be quite difficult for their children to leave. So yeah, I'm super grateful for them. They are just really nice people. And even though they might not understand what I actually do as a community manager, even though you try and explain, they see that I'm very happy, and that's all that matters.
What was the best explanation that worked for them?
This is a bad explanation, but it was the only one that really worked. I said to him, Facebook. Like Facebook groups and communities that I built on Facebook. The job of somebody that manages that is the job that I do. And they're like, oh, okay. But obviously the whole Facebook community conversation is a hot one, especially with other social media channels. And is social media management the same as community management? I feel like we will have that conversation for years. So yeah, I basically try to go down the Facebook route to try and make them understand what it is that I do.
Did you have your mom ever told you that she told you no to motivate you? Do you think it was intentionally?
I don't know, actually. Thinking about me and my personality, she would probably say no because I wanted to do everything. And I can't do everything. And I now realize that after, various different jobs. So I don't think she was trying to motivate me. I just think that I just wanted to do anything that anyone else was doing, I wanted to do. And maybe at the time we couldn't afford it, we didn't have enough time, or, I don't know. I guess I should ask her.
Okay, so, and what about your dad? What did he usually tell you?
That's a good question. I don't remember, actually. I don't know. I don't think... I think for me, my dad only got involved when I did something really bad, which wasn't very often, because I knew that if I did something bad, then, you're going to have to speak to Dad. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. So he didn't often say much to me, which I guess is a good thing. But yeah, no, I don't recall that. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, let's deal with it. Okay, so let's move a little more to yourself. Tell me about your childhood. From what age do you remember yourself?
That's a good question. It's difficult to say because when I was younger, my parents used to take a lot of photos, a lot of videos of us as children. So I guess by having those, I'm able to connect with myself at that age. And actually, most weekends I watch a video just to see. So I've got videos all the way down to full on baby. But I think around 5 or 6 is when I can really vividly remember doing things. There's a lot more videos of me at that age. Very talkative, very much like now. And yeah, my childhood was great. I was very lucky, very privileged to have anything and everything I wanted within reason. I had a great set of friends. My mum and dad were always around, and yeah, I can't complain at all with how I was brought up. And if I ever decide to have children, which is the $1 million question, I would really want for those children to be brought up in the way that I was, and will do the best I can to do that for them. Right now I have a puppy, which is basically a kid.
Yeah.
So he is getting everything and anything. He doesn't say he wants anything, but I think I know that what he wants. Like today, I ordered him a Spider-Man costume for Halloween because who doesn't want to see a little dog in a Spider-Man costume? Just saying.
I don't know those people, you know. Okay, so you wrote on your Instagram, I go to England for 12 days and come back and suddenly our family is now 3. Say hello to this cutie Ollie the dog. So tell me the full story of how did Ollie the dog appear in your life?
So we have been thinking about getting a dog for a while, specifically adopting a dog rather than, buying a dog. And I had, or still have, I guess, a little bit of a fear around pets. I've never had a pet as a child. So whenever I was around pets, I wasn't really sure how to really handle them or anything like that. So we were really looking for a smaller dog, puppy particularly, and one that was cute. You always want a cute dog.
Yes.
A lot of the times in adoption centres, the dogs that are there are a lot older dogs, bigger dogs, and just there wasn't any dogs that we saw that I really felt comfortable with. And then I go to England for 12 days and my husband messages me saying that he's found a potential dog on one of the Facebook pages of the adoption sites here in Spain and sent me a picture, and he was very cute, 3 months old. And he's like, I'm going to go and see him. I was like, okay. Not thinking that we'd end up with a dog. And basically he went to go and see him. He had 2 other brothers. One of the brothers had already been adopted. There was him and another brother left. Ollie is white with brown spots. Well, I guess brown spots. The other one was completely brown. My husband decided to go for Ollie. And within 2 days, he was in our house, and I wasn't coming back for a week later. But it was kind of one of those decisions. I was told that if he didn't decide to take him there and then somebody else would have taken him. So it just seemed like the right thing to do, albeit all quite quick. But to be honest, in hindsight, it was probably better that it was done quicker, because we've been thinking and dragging this out for so long that it was getting to the point where we weren't even sure if we were going to get a dog anymore, because it was just going on and on and on. So yeah, he turned up on the Wednesday. I came back the following Tuesday. And at 3 months old, it's hard work. He's now 6 months old and he's still hard work, but he's getting there. A lot of patience, a lot of crying in the bathroom because you're like, I can't do this. It's just too much. I'm sure a lot of people will resonate with that. But overall, he has definitely brought a lot of joy to both of our lives. I work from home, so to have a little companion, he's not here right now, but just having somebody else in the house is really nice. Even if I do have to clean up after him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how it happened.
I believe this is the hardest part of cleaning after him.
Yeah. Luckily we trained him to go outside now, so that's a huge win.
Yeah.
But I think he's coming now. Ollie. No, I can hear his little dog thing. He'll come. He'll come if he wants to be part of this.
Wants to be a part of our conversation. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was the biggest blocker before getting a dog?
I think it was just really finding the right dog. Another thing is I don't speak completely fluent Spanish. So a lot of the, I guess, responsibility went on my husband to coordinate, speak with people. And we're all very busy. We both work full time, and some things just take a back seat. So that was, I guess, the blocker. But I do genuinely believe that things happen for a reason at the right time. And I guess it just wasn't the right time before. So yeah, that was the blocker.
Totally. Why dog, not cat?
Yeah, I've never really been a cat person. I guess I thought I liked the idea of being able to walk the dog, getting a bit of exercise. I'm really into exercising. Then since the pandemic, I mean, we were completely locked in here in Spain. It just made you rethink the whole walking idea. And now I love walking. And it actually makes me question, like, what was I doing before the pandemic? Was I walking? I wasn't even working out really before the pandemic. So yeah, the dog, walking, getting a bit of exercise, just was, I guess, the main factor compared to a cat, really.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand. But I just have also 2 dogs, and I had a cat before, and there's a huge difference. So dog's much better. Yeah, but it's just my opinion. So you recently made a post on LinkedIn about the word community. So have you ever tried to go 24 hours without saying this word?
I have not gone 24 hours without saying that word, but I would love to see if I could. But to be honest, I think in the first 10 minutes, I would just say it. Like, it's like part of like my daily vocabulary. And I know a lot of people on the LinkedIn post suggested other things like gang or network. And although they're great words, I don't know what it is about, I'm going to say the word community, that just has a nice ring to it. Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to do it. I should start one of those, like, it's like a swear jar. You know, when you say a word, you have to put like some money in every time you say it. I would be a millionaire if I put in like €1 every time I said the word community. I mean, I should have started that years ago. We may not be talking now if I'd done that, because I would be like mega rich. But yeah, I haven't done it, but I don't think I would last.
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah. I don't know. I've never tried, just like you. So maybe we should do a challenge.
Maybe.
So I'll wait for you to start it. right after you start it, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. Deal.
So tell me, how did you meet your husband, Adolfo?
Oh, how long have we got? So I used to work on a cruise ship. Some people may know of the cruise line Celebrity Cruises. There are no celebrities on these cruises. I mean, sometimes there were, but it's not like a ship full of celebrity people. And I actually met him on my second day on board of a contract. A contract is usually around 6 months. We worked in the same department, entertainment. He was the sound person for the theatre. Part of my job as an activities team was to greet people in the theatre. And one of my teammates introduced him to me. And I guess the rest is history. We hit it off, and almost 8 years married later, we're still here.
What is love from the first sight?
For me, no. For him, yes. He wrote his wedding vows. He tells me in the first week of meeting, because he knew he was going to marry me. I, on the other hand, was very much like, you're okay, and yeah, we'll get to know each other. But yeah, he said he knew. So yeah, that's how we met.
I saw one of your Instagram post about your wedding day, and it was so many interesting facts, like not being able to get Alf's ring on his finger, losing Alf at the after party, and all this stuff. So, what is the one you remember the most, and why?
It was probably losing him. It was a long day, and our reception was in a hotel, but we used an outside like cabana area. We could only have music until I think it was like 10 p.m. So we organized the whole wedding party to go to like a nightclub in a different hotel. So that meant taxis and things like that. And basically what happened is we got there, we went up in the elevator to the club. I remember him being in there with me, and then I walked out and I turned around and the doors had closed and he wasn't there with me. He disappeared, like gone. I didn't have anything on me, just my wedding dress, nothing else, no phone, no keys, no nothing. And yeah, he was gone. After searching, people searching, hotels searching, no one could see him leaving the hotel. So he was in the hotel somewhere. We just didn't know. Anyway, maybe an hour, 2 hours later, who knows? We're still searching. And apparently one of our friends' partners heard someone speaking Spanish, because he's a Spanish speaker, in the lobby. And he was like, is that him? So he like goes over and there's like these very high winged chairs. And he'd like literally gone down and like slumped in a chair like this and was like sleeping and then somewhat talking. And when he tried to like wake him up, he was just talking a lot of Spanish. Basically, you know, you have quite a bit to drink at a wedding, you're mega tired. He just wanted to take a nap. So he took a nap in that chair. So yeah, we laugh about it now, but at the time it was pretty worrying.
And was he for a whole few hours in the chair?
Yeah, just sleeping in the chair.
It's amazing. And how did you feel?
Angry at the time, worried, scared. Like there were so many things going on that, you know, wasn't really part of the plan. I even went back to our original hotel where we were staying, because the night had finished and like we hadn't found him, and then he came later. And yeah, we had a heated discussion about it, and then we got over it, and it was all fine. But yeah, it's not the best feeling to lose your husband on your wedding night.
Totally.
But it's all fun and games now.
Yes. And tell me one more such fun story that was scary at one moment and you are laughing of it now.
To do with us or just in life?
You decide.
Oh, wow. Okay. How do I think there's like so many?
The first which is in your mind.
I guess the first thing was, it wasn't really scary, but like pretty apprehensive moment. So we actually got married twice. We did like his and hers weddings, which not many people do. But we actually officially got married in New York in the City Clerk. And we planned to do this 1 year, but with like visas and things, it didn't quite work out. So we then tried it the second year, not really like planning for sure that it was going to happen. It was like, okay, this didn't happen last time. We'll just go. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't matter. It happened. And it was pretty scary because the ceremony inside of the City Clerk in New York is 3 minutes. We have it on video because we put our little camera up. And it's very surreal because we didn't tell anyone we were doing it. We found a photographer on Craigslist who was our witness, and was a bit surreal. So yeah, it was scary in that we weren't really sure that it was going to happen, and then suddenly 3 minutes later we're like officially married. The one part I remember from that was the officiant was like, do you want to say anything to each other? And we just looked at each other and was like, no, because we weren't planning on it. So yeah, it was a funny yet kind of scary moment. But again, all in good faith.
Tell me more about this his and hers wedding. What does it mean?
So I am very much a beach person. I love sun, and all things around that. He doesn't necessarily love the sun. Oh, we have a friend that's come to join us. Oh, come and see everyone. He doesn't want to come up now.
Hey, hey, Oli.
No?
Oh, it's a rather big one. You know, I thought he was smaller.
He is medium sized.
Yeah.
He's about 12 kilograms now. He used to be a lot smaller. We got him and he was 4 kilograms. He's got bigger, but he's still quite small when compared to other dogs.
Yeah.
Are you gonna sit there now? Okay. So his and hers weddings, I like heat, he doesn't like heat. So we just decided to do 2. The one in New York was obviously a lot more, I guess, basic. My flowers, I made a bouquet from 7-Eleven. We bought very cheap rings from a store in the UK called Argos, which is like a catalogue store. We did have some outfits, but yeah, it was very much more symbolic rather than, a huge party. And actually, after, it was snowing so badly in New York that we ended up just going back to our hotel. We passed out, fell asleep, and then we woke up and went to Five Guys for burgers at 1 a.m. That was the wedding day. Whereas the wedding day on the beach, which we did in Abu Dhabi, was full on with people, the wedding dress, the vows, the whole kind of shebang, which I guess is why I call it his and hers weddings.
I understand. Okay, got it. So the official part and kind of guests part.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see it like that. Yeah.
Cool. Describe a moment when you decided to run the Women's Health Marathon in Madrid in 2019. What did you tell yourself?
What did I tell myself before I ran it?
Yeah, when you decided,
Well, I don't know why I decided to start running that year. I think I started with the there's a women's 5K. I did that and I was like, actually, I want to run longer. And I started doing some 10Ks. And then I think there was an offer, if you signed up for a 10K and the half marathon, you got them cheaper. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I guess that's how it happened. But I really I want to run a marathon, a full marathon eventually. So I figured, well, if I can do half a marathon, then that will get me halfway there. So yeah, that was my intention at the time. I have yet to run a marathon. I actually applied for the London Marathon, the ballot, but I didn't get in. So it's not meant to be. I'm not actually a big runner. I don't know why I think I need to run a marathon. I guess it's just one of those bucket list items that you should do. But I did the half marathon. All I wanted to do was finish it within a certain time. I can't remember what the time was, but I know that I did it under that time. But it was hard. It's long. And at one point I was behind the ambulance at the back. I was so far at the back, I was behind it, because what I like to do when I run long distances is a lot of people just start running at the beginning. I like to walk fast for the first 1K, just to get my body kind of going. And that means that you're then at the very back. But if I start running straight away, sometimes I injure myself too quickly or get too tired. So yeah, but I didn't finish at the end of that. I was maybe like 50 people from the back, but it was definitely a good experience. I'm glad I did it. And yeah, who knows, maybe a marathon one day.
Yeah, am I hearing it correctly that it was more a marketing stuff that you signed up for half marathon? Because it's cheaper to buy 10K
Pretty
plus
much,
half marathon together.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, you want to do this 10K? Why don't you do the half marathon as well for this? And I was like, okay. Not knowing how much training goes into a half marathon, what I needed to do. So yeah, if you're gonna run any type of marathon, it's a lot of training. But I'm sure everyone knows that.
Yeah, I totally feel you. You also wrote on your Instagram, I remember the first time I was given a microphone to host an evening event when working for Celebrity Cruises, and I was petrified. And in the end of the post, after over 10 years at sea, being in front of people every day, I quickly got the hang of it and truly loved being the center of attention. So from petrified to love being the center of attention. Tell me more about your sea life.
Yeah, I mean, that sea life journey kind of span over like almost 10 years. But yeah, like when someone gives you something to hold in your hand and then your voice is then like amplified and louder, it's a really weird feeling. Especially if everyone is looking at you as well, and there's a lot of people in the room. I remember it. It was Halloween. It was like this time, however many years ago. My parents were on that cruise. They came to visit, so that was even more nerve-wracking for me to stand there with them watching, because everything goes quiet because everyone wants to listen to you, obviously. Yes. But after doing it every single day, you then get the hang of it. You start to walk around on the stage. You have your own jokes and things like that. But yeah, that was definitely a learning curve for me. But I loved working at sea. I got to travel to some amazing places in the world, made friends for life. A lot of people will know, if you've ever worked on a cruise ship, if you haven't seen someone for a long time that you worked with on a previous ship and you go to another one, you see them there, you just continue where you left off. It's as if you only saw them yesterday. And that is the one thing that I loved about that, because you're with these people every single day. You get to know them very quickly. When you go to the bar, it's the same people in the bar every night. So yeah, it was a great experience for me to meet people from all over the world, see the world, and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Can't forget about that. We did get paid. And yeah, you work hard and you play hard. I remember at the end of every 6-month contract, you go home for about 2 months. You spend all of your money, everything. And then you then go back and save again. And it's just a vicious circle of save, spend, save, spend. And some of the people that I met are still doing it now. It's definitely a very addictive lifestyle. And, you can work your way up to some really high positions in the companies these days. So yeah, really great experience.
Yeah, so you talked about what you love about it, and what did you hate about it?
What did I mean, there's nothing I really hated. It was the one challenge is after X amount of months, you really just want to cook your own food, which I know sounds really silly because a lot of people hate cooking, but when you're not able to cook food and you can only have what's available, sometimes you just crave something from home, or you want to eat at a particular time that's not on the schedule of eating. So that's something I found quite challenging after quite a long time. What else? Sometimes the what's it called? The ship would rock a lot, depending where you were in the world. So it'll be moving like this, and a lot of the times you may not be affected by it, but sometimes it would hit you, and you would have to lay down, go to sleep. You couldn't work, and that happened quite a few times for me, and especially on nights when you really didn't want it to happen because it was a party or whatever. But yeah, once that seasickness hits you, you're just out for the night. You sleep like a baby, but it doesn't feel great when you are seasick. So yeah, ginger ale is a good remedy for seasickness, in case anyone is interested.
Nice. Well, we'll use this hint. I've never been to cruise, but I would love to. So
no, it's a great experience. Like, you can travel to multiple countries in 1 week, and the great thing is you spend like a day there, so you get a taste. So if you like it, you can come back, and if you don't like it, you was only there for a day, and you can forget about it. That's the way I see it.
And I've just missed this fact. I was preparing, but what cruise life, sea life was before the sky life? Yes.
Yeah.
So how did you move from sea to sky?
Good question. So actually, it went sea, sky, sea.
Okay.
But it just, after some time, after being with my now husband for a while, we just decided we wanted to do something else. We started applying for jobs all over the world, and it just so happened that we both got a job in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates around the same time. So we were like, let's move to Abu Dhabi, as people do. So that was pretty scary, but really a great experience. I always wanted to be a flight attendant since I was a child, and I got to do it. Would I do it again? Probably not. It's a hard job. Like, it might look very glamorous when the whole cabin crew are walking through the airport with their little trolley bags, but it's actually really quite challenging to keep everyone safe, first of all, make people realize the importance of safety on an aircraft. Serving people can get quite messy. The amount of times I've had tea and coffee and yogurt and all sorts all over my hands because you tried to put the tray in the cart and then it fell down. And there can be long hours. There was one flight, Abu Dhabi to LA is 16 hours. So it's a long time to be working. You do get some rest time, but you're on an airplane. There's only so many places you can go. So yeah, that was the reason why we kind of changed. It just kind of happened in that we both got jobs at the same time. We decided to just do it. Yeah.
And how does it feel when you have to be nice to people, even though they might not be nice to you?
I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult. Like, it's very difficult to be professional sometimes, because especially when it comes to safety, safety is black and white. And I'm a very kind of direct person. So if I'm asking you to put on your seatbelt, you need to put on your seatbelt. Like, don't argue with me about why you shouldn't wear your seatbelt. Like, on the plane, each cabin crew is responsible for a certain area. And on takeoff and landing, they need to make sure that area is secure, because we don't know if something's going to happen. And if anything did happen and somebody got hurt, it could come back to that particular cabin crew. Now, of course, I could go along and tell people, do your seatbelts, and I can see everyone's seatbelts are done up, but then someone can undo it. There's nothing I can do about that. But the process on the plane is that you you feed back to the main person that you've secured your area. After that, whatever happens after that is the responsibility of the passengers. So that was the hardest part, is to really make sure people understood the importance of safety, which you would assume a lot of people would, because who wants to get hurt? But it sometimes was quite challenging. So yeah, I'm quite stern and direct in that way, and sometimes that can come across as what's the word? A bit too much, I guess. But that's not the case. It's just this is the rule. Follow it in the nicest possible way. You can imagine me saying that in the nicest possible way.
Yes, exactly. Nicest possible way. It's very similar to community world, you know.
Yeah, so. Definitely. So it's like enforcing your guidelines and rules in your community. You tell someone once, maybe again, I don't know how many times, and then there was never a time where it got that far on a plane. But if somebody decided not to listen to what you were doing, would argue with you, like there are procedures in that we were taught how to restrain people if it got to that point. Luckily it never did, but that's why it's so important when you have that responsibility for people, an area, a community, that you stand your ground and enforce whatever you have decided are the rules or have been told the rules. Otherwise we just do whatever we wanted, right? Yeah. And that's not okay in a lot of cases.
So sea, air, sea, earth right now. So did you ever work with fire?
I don't, but I am trained to fight fires.
When you were a flight attendant?
Yeah. Fight fires, deliver babies, evacuate aircrafts. Like, I can't tell you how difficult the safety training was for flight attendant. Like, honestly, it was the hardest thing I'd done in my life. I hope I will never have to fight a fire, but if I do, maybe those instincts will kick back in and I'll know what to do. So the answer to your question, no, but I can.
Okay, got it. Once you wrote on Instagram that I'm opinionated, bossy, and can sometimes come across as aggressive. So if it intimidates you, I hope you realize that it's a weakness of yours. And you wrote that I'm a go-getter and someone who strives for perfection in everything I do. So tell me more about Valentina the perfectionist.
Yeah, I have always been very detail orientated. I think of the little things that a lot of people wouldn't. And if they're not up to my standard, then it's not perfect. And that can sometimes be quite challenging to get things done, or sometimes work with me because I'm like, what about this? What about this? What about this? But I genuinely believe that the small things are as important. I am learning to not always focus on the small things, but they are still there, because a lot of the times those small things can take a project or an event or a community or anything to the next level above somebody else's. And that's why I like to be as perfect. I mean, I guess perfect is maybe not the right word, just to my standards as can be, because I just like it to be like that. Is the reason, really.
Are your standards ever changing?
No.
Like higher and lower and?
No, they're pretty high all the time.
And you won't call it perfectionism. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Just high standards. I've definitely learned to be less perfect. Like perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not, like, what I do is not 100% perfect, but I do try to be close to that. And then like improve to maybe get to that. But I appreciate perfectionism is not something that you can do for everything. But I try to be as good as I can be in what I know and what I can do.
Do you want other people to be perfect too?
Depends who it is, I guess. No, I like in general, I think people should be held accountable for what they know and can do, and everyone should work to their best ability. But some people are good at other things. I mean, I'm a very organized person. The degree that I did, the actual name was Organizing Live Arts, which is just a fancy name for events management. So I'm super, super organized, which is why I guess the small details, the perfectionism type things come in, because I've always been like, okay, what checklist do we need to do? What haven't I done? Like, and I love making lists. I love writing it down and scribbling it out. And even, you know what I'll do is, even if I've done something, I will still write it down just so I can cross it out.
Yeah, then to watch at this list, oh, I've done so many amazing stuff.
Exactly. Like it just makes you feel better. Even if you've like done the laundry. Well, I did that already, so I write it, done it. It's a waste of paper, but it makes me feel good.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly what I miss in Todoist. So I use this task manager, but when I done something, I click done and it just disappears. So I don't understand, like I can do 20 tasks, but you know, there is no feedback. But when you are writing it down and then crossing it out, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you on that. Also, you wrote, I love multitasking, and I think I was born to just work on lots of different things at once and keep busy. So tell me about loving multitasking without saying that you love multitasking.
I'm an octopus.
Okay.
Got
it, feel it.
I have lots of arms. I just like doing lots of different things. Not that I'm not focused, because I am focused. My brain is just very active, I think, and likes to be occupied with lots of different things. So I can easily switch between different projects, tasks very quickly, and I like that. To sit there for hours and work on the same thing, it doesn't motivate me. And that's why I do a lot of things. I have done a lot of things in my life. Will continue to probably overwork, because I like getting my hands into different pies. Yeah.
Do you always finish what you start?
If it's work-related stuff, yes. If it's personal stuff, sometimes no. Personal stuff kind of gets pushed to the side, but it will get finished eventually. I do also go on my motivation. Sometimes I feel motivated to do X, Y, and Z. And that could be at any time of the day, the weekend. I really am quite conscious of my energy levels. I know I'm most energetic in the afternoons, after lunch, which is a bit weird, because usually after lunch you're like in a lull. But energy drinks help with that. And I also work out quite a lot, which has definitely helped give me more energy, help me sleep better. I can't remember the question now. What was the question?
Let's just go with the flow. We don't need to remember what questions were, so let's just continue the conversation. So once you shared an amazing picture you painted with a park and a person and a small dog, and you shared that you painted it while sitting with others, drinking wine and enjoying some tapas while chatting and all the stuff. So do you still paint?
I wouldn't say painting is a regular thing. It's just something that I like doing on the off chance. And it was actually, I actually went to that particular painting. It's called Sip and Paint. By accident. My friend, who is the girl in that picture with the dog, it's not me, she was meant to go, but she couldn't go. So she said, do you want to go in my place? And I said, yeah, I'll paint the picture of you and Chloe, who's her dog. So that's how I ended up going there. But I do love to drink wine. I mean, in Spain, wine is very cheap. So It's always a good choice. And yeah, I do find myself being quite creative. I'm not a painter, but if I can sit there and just, brush, or I do like to do coloring, those adult coloring books, anything that doesn't really involve too much thinking. I'm all up for. But I would go back. I need to go back because it was fun. Just sitting there with people chatting, drinking, painting. Great night out.
Feels like, really great night out. Like drinking, chatting, painting, eventually. And who keeps this picture?
I have given it to my friend.
Fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But I do have some other pictures. In fact, I have pictures, but I've never put them up on the wall. Like, I don't know if anyone else is like that, where you paint things and then you just put them in a drawer. You don't think about it.
You're like a real artist, So.
Yeah. I should start selling them.
Yeah, exactly. So, I wish to have the sky as the limit to our conversation, but time is the limit. So let's jump to the rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
So, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sand or snow?
Sand.
What are your favorite color and song?
Favorite color, pink, bright pink. And my favorite song is Earth, Wind and Fire, September.
If you were a superhero, what superpower would you have?
I would love to be invisible.
Who do you learn from in the community world? Name one person.
Noel Flowers.
And name two people who I should definitely have this conversation with.
Definitely Noel Flowers if you haven't already. And you should also talk to David Spinks.
He was the first, but we definitely have to.
Okay, somebody else then. Somebody else you should speak to. Todd Nielsen.
Got it. He's on my list as a Noel Flower. So thank you very much. And is there one question that I definitely should have asked you but didn't?
You could have asked me how many countries I've traveled to in the world.
So, how many countries you've traveled to?
Actually, I did. The reason I mentioned it is because I actually did one of those like interactive maps last night, and I've been to 63 countries, which is 26% of the world, I've been told. And this does not include those countries that I've flown into as a flight attendant and stayed on the plane, because that doesn't count.
Yeah.
So 63 that I physically touched and explored in some way.
And what is your goal?
All of them.
I mean, like, what are other countries? Maybe you want to hit 100, 200?
I mean, I think I've definitely got a few countries that I want to go to in the next few years on my list. One of them, Iceland. Not been there. New Zealand, I would love to go to. And I've been to this one already, but I want to go back. I want to go back to Italy just to go and enjoy all the food. Yeah. Like a city break, a weekend break. That's what I would love to do.
I definitely should have asked you about food, but
yeah, missed opportunity.
Yeah, but it's a great opportunity to have volume 2,
Exactly.
So one day we'll continue this conversation.
Definitely.
So Valentina, thank you very much for being here today, and thank you very much for sharing all these facts about you, because when I started preparing for our conversation, I was like, really? No way. Wow. I should definitely ask about that. And yeah, you have so amazing and interesting and enjoyable life. So now I understand why you're a community builder, So yeah, thank you very much for sharing all this information, sharing all your stories so openly, and I enjoyed our conversation very much.
Yeah, no, me too. Thank you. And yeah, I have a lot of stories. I am all about story generating, story creating. I try not to live a dull life. because one day I might have children. I'll tell them all these stories and they won't believe it, just like you didn't. But it's all fun and games.
Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, we'll have a lot of things to continue this conversation. So see you in the volume 2. And yeah, till that time, see you in the community world.